At the end of the 14th century, the two most powerful Turkish rulers in the world were on a collision course. One was Emir Timur, the conqueror who built a vast empire stretching from Central Asia to India. The other was Sultan Bayezid I, known as Bayezid the Thunderbolt, the Ottoman ruler who had crushed the Crusaders at the Battle of Nicopolis and expanded the Ottoman Empire deep into the Balkans. This was not merely a battle between two kings. The outcome on the plains of Ankara would reshape the future of the Ottoman Empire and alter the course of world history. Timur was not born into a royal dynasty. He came from the Barlas tribe and rose to power through extraordinary intelligence, military brilliance, and political skill. As the Chagatai Khanate collapsed, he seized the opportunity. One by one, he defeated his rivals and united the region under his rule. In 1370, Timur was proclaimed supreme ruler. Over the next 3 decades, he launched relentless campaigns across Persia, Iraq, the Caucasus, the Golden Horde, and India. Every kingdom that resisted him fell. Cities that refused to surrender often faced devastating consequences. Isfahan witnessed the massacre of tens of thousands. Delhi was plundered. The Golden Horde was shattered. By the end of the century, Timur had become the most feared conqueror on earth. While Timur expanded in the east, another empire was rising in the west. Sultan Bayezid I united the Anatolian Turkish principalities, conquered vast territories in the Balkans, and destroyed a massive crusader army at the Battle of Nicopolis. Constantinople was under siege. The ambitions of the two rulers were beginning to overlap. A confrontation had become inevitable. Demanded that Bayezid hand over two political refugees. Kara Yusuf and Sultan Ahmad Bayezid refused. According to Turkish tradition, betraying someone who sought your protection was considered dishonorable. The refusal was followed by a series of increasingly hostile letters, threats, insults, displays of power. Diplomacy was giving way to war. In 1400, Timur marched into Anatolia. His first major target was the city of Sivas. After a determined resistance, the city surrendered. Despite promising mercy, Timur ordered a brutal massacre. Thousands lost their lives. The fall of Sivas spread fear throughout Anatolia. Timur then turned south, defeating the Mamluks in Syria and capturing Baghdad. Now all of his attention was focused on the Ottoman Empire. Bayezid planned to lure Timur into rough mountainous terrain where the Ottoman army would have the advantage. Timur anticipated this strategy. Instead of confronting Bayezid directly, he advanced through Kayseri and laid siege to Ankara. The Ottoman army was forced into a rapid march across difficult terrain. By the time they arrived, Bayezid's soldiers were exhausted. Timur's army, meanwhile, was rested, better supplied, and significantly larger. July 28, 1402, now one of history's greatest battles had begun. The Ottoman wings fought fiercely during the opening hours. Victory still seemed possible, but the tide soon turned. The Kara Tatars switched sides. Several Anatolian troops, loyal to former Turkish beyliks, defected to Timur. With overwhelming numbers and constant reinforcements, Timur gradually gained the upper hand. The Janissaries resisted until the very end. Bayezid refused to retreat. As night approached, he became surrounded. His horse was struck down beneath him. The Ottoman Sultan was captured alive. The Battle of Ankara became one of the greatest disasters in Ottoman history. The Anatolian Beyliks were restored. The Ottoman Empire entered the period known as the Ottoman Interregnum. Timur left Anatolia with enormous wealth and countless prisoners, yet his own empire would not survive him for long. In 1405, while preparing to invade China, Timur died. His empire quickly fragmented. The Ottoman Empire, however, proved remarkably resilient. Within a few decades, it reunited, recovered, and eventually became one of the most powerful empires in world history. The Battle of Ankara was more than a clash between two rulers. It was the meeting of two extraordinary military minds. On one side stood Timur, the conqueror, who seemed impossible to stop. On the other stood Bayezid, the thunderbolt, the ruler who had terrified Europe. Timur won the battle, but history ultimately favored the empire that managed to rise again from the ashes. The Ottoman Empire endured while Timur's empire faded into history.